everybody. On behalf of the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Directorate of Scholarships and Cultural Relations, I'd like to welcome you all today in our 7th meeting of the Book Club. مساء الخير جميعاً. نيابة عن وزارة التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي العراقية، دائرة البعثات والعلاقات الثقافية، مركز اللغة، أحب أن أرحب بكم جميعاً هذه الليلة في لقائنا السابع من نادي الكتاب. قبل أن نبدأ الجلسة، ولأن هناك مشتركون جدد، أود أن أنوه أن نادي الكتاب قد بدأناه في مركز اللغة في شهر كانون الثاني من هذا العام، ويهدف هذا النادي إلى اجتماع لمناقشة بعض الكتب سواء كانت علمية في مختلف الاختصاصات أو أدبية. وهذه المناقشة قد تكون باللغة الإنجليزية، وطبعاً ستكون من قبلي أنا باللغة الإنجليزية، وأي مشترك آخر سواء كان يتحدث اللغة العربية فقط أم الإنجليزية، فهذا هو المكان، لأننا هنا لنسمعكم ونسمع آراءكم. الهدف كما قلت هو استخدام اللغة الإنجليزية بالإضافة إلى التعرف على ثقافات الشعوب من خلال قراءاتنا للكتب المتنوعة. ملاحظة أخرى بالنسبة لشهادات المشاركة وكتب تأييد الحضور، تأكدوا أنكم حينما تملؤون استمارة الحضور التي سأزودكم بها بعد قليل، فإننا سنحرص على إرسال جميع شهادات المشاركة وتأييدات الحضور على البريد الإلكتروني، وإذا كنتم قد زودتمونا بأرقام هواتفكم فإنني سأقوم بإضافتكم إلى مجموعة مركز اللغة، وبذلك سيتسنى لي أن أرسل لكم صور شهادات المشاركة وتأييد الحضور إلى أن تحين لكم الفرصة للقدوم إلى المركز إذا رغبتم لتسلم الشهادات الورقية. وبذلك أود أن أقول بأن شهادات المشاركة كما تعلمون الإجراءات الإدارية تأخذ وقتاً، لأنها ستوقع من قبل السيد مدير عام دائرة البعثات والعلاقات الثقافية. لذلك أود أن تلاحظوا بأن ذلك سيستغرق من 10 إلى 15 يوماً. شيء آخر قبل أن نبدأ جلسة الحوار، في هذا النادي نقوم شهرياً بعرض كتاب في سحبة نادي الكتاب، فأي شخص يرغب بدخول السحبة للفوز بهذا الكتاب يمكنكم أن تكتبوا الاسم في مربع الحوار وتكتبوا القرعة، وبذلك سأقوم في نهاية الجلسة بإجراء سحبة لمعرفة الشخص الذي سيفوز بكتاب هذه الليلة، وهو بعنوان Technology Enhanced Learning Environment. Now we should start the session. Again, I'd like to welcome you all from the Language Center, Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research in Iraq, Directorate of Scholarships and Cultural Relations. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Dr. Fatima. I work as the Director of the Language Center in the Ministry, and I've got my master's degree in linguistics from the University of Baghdad. And then I've got the scholarship of the HCED to do my PhD in English language. And I've got my PhD from the University of Wyoming in the United States of America. When I returned, I've got this position to be responsible for the Language Center. In the Language Center, we offer different courses, but our main job is to offer the courses of TOEFL and IELTS. In addition to that, we offer several online and in-person lectures about different topics, whether they are in linguistics, literature, or even in improving language skills or improving personal skills. And also we offer different topics. Other teachers from other universities, they come to the center and they offer appreciated. They offer their lectures in their specialties. So today I am going to discuss one book. People who were with us in previous sessions, they know that I discussed one of the books who is called This Election. It was by Kiera Cass. This Election is a series of several books that talks about a girl, and just a synopsis about what's going on. the whole novel, the whole series is talking about the United States, but in the future. Kiera Cass, she writes for young adults in this series, saying that the United States was attacked by China, and then it became a kingdom after many struggles. It was called the Kingdom of Ilya. In this kingdom, people got castes. It means that they were ranked, they have levels. So in society, there are 8 ranks. There are people who are 1s, people who are 2s, up to 8s. So people who are 8s, they are the poorest people in society. They include the criminals and people who have no jobs, homeless people, etc. And for example, a person who is 8, 7, 6, or even 5, he cannot work as a teacher. They can work any other job which is, down or lesser than a teacher. America Singer, as a tradition by the royal family, the prince has to choose one of the girls from the community, because based on the poverty of the kingdom, there are many struggles, and rebels would like to get rid of the royal family. So in order to meditate this or moderate this condition, the king decides that there should be a selection, and then the prince has to choose one of the girls from the public. Then Prince Maxim get to know 35 girls. In the previous 2 books, the competition was very high between these girls, and then the number got down when we arrived to book 3, which is called The One, the one which is in front of you on the screen. So in this book, the competition gets close to 5 girls only, and America Singer stays among these girls. She's a 5, so she's from the 5 castes of the society. In this book, and people who were with us in the previous sessions, they know that America Singer gets to the competition because she broke up with her ex-boyfriend, and she come to the castle. And I said that I couldn't understand this debate between, how can she act like that? Because she has a boyfriend, and then she gets close to the king or the prince. But anyway, this is my point of view. Maybe it's different. Different according to the society or the culture of Kiera Cass. So in this book, she's still debating her love to Maxim, the prince, and her love to her ex-boyfriend, who works as a guard in the palace. And in this book, the prince decides to propose to America, but in the party that he held in order to get a propose to her, the rebels attack the palace for the 3rd time, and then they killed several people. Before that, in a few months, America and the prince cooperate together, and they got close to one of the rebels who appears to be a relative of the royal family. They help the rebels in order to assist them, because it appears that the king is different from his son. So Maxim is so different from the king in that he doesn't like the caste, because he got close to people and he know that there is hunger, there is suffering. That's why he kind of supports America in her points of view that these castes should be removed from society. That's why by the end, it got, they get married, but the king and queen, they were killed by the rebels. And this is the end of book 3. There are 2 other books in this series, and I think they'll be telling the stories of maybe the daughter of America. I didn't get to these books yet, so I'll see what's going on in the future. Now, before I go to review some of the books as usual, let me see. Well, here in the comment box, okay, we have Ali Tahar. Let me get your name. You would like to participate in the drawing, Ali Tahar. So just if anyone who would like to participate in the drawing, please write your name in the comment box and write drawing or qur'a, and then I can understand that you would like to participate to win the book. Now I'll post the link for the attending form or the attendance form. Hold on 1 minute. So if anyone has read a book and would like to share it with us, please go ahead. While I'm waiting for the link, think if you have a book in mind and you would like to share it with us, or if you have any question, concern, comment. Okay, there you go. Here is the link. Go ahead, fill out the form. It's necessary that you provide your Arabic name in Arabic and in English, because I'll use the Arabic name in order to make the certificate that you attended the lecture, and then the just like the diploma, I need the English one. Hold on, we have Neda. In a few minutes. Neda Jassim, Ahmed Adnan, the BBC site, and I shortened everything for you because I don't want to waste your time. I was surprised to find that one of the books posted in this site was by Hisham Matar. I've heard this name before. I thought it's Iraqi name, but it seems that this person is from Libya. So his book is called The Return. This book is a memoir of Matar's life in exile and his return to his country. He talks about his life. So he was 8 years old when his family left Libya in 1979. His father, okay. So I'm sorry, I did not know. Awatif, sorry, you missed the first part of the meeting. So this meeting, we call it the book club, and this is the 7th meeting of this club. We meet together in order to discuss books, whether they are scientific or hold on, Mariam, I'll answer you now. It seems that you missed the first part of the lecture too. So we meet monthly in order to talk about books, whether they are in different specialties or just literary books, just novels. Usually because I love novels, so usually I discuss novels all the time, but sometimes every now and then there is one person who would like to talk about a book which is scientific, so anyone is welcome to share your readings with us here. مريم، بالنسبة لشهادات المشاركة تكلمت في البداية عن هذا الموضوع وسأعيد الآن أيضا. أشكر تفهمكم لهذا الموضوع. شهادات المشاركة تأخذ مني وقتا لأن الأعداد كبيرة، أعداد الحضور يعني، وذلك طلب مني وقتا لإعداد كتاب تأييد المشاركة بالإضافة إلى شهادات المشاركة. بالإضافة إلى ذلك فإن بريد المدير العام لا يسير بسرعة كما تعلمون، ولذلك أعطيكم نسبة بأن شهادات المشاركة تكون جاهزة من 10 إلى 15 يوما، ولكن تصلكم بكل تأكيد طالما أنكم تسألوني البريد الإلكتروني ورقم الهاتف. Please, I understand you need them, but don't do anything. So as soon as the general manager signs the certificates, I'll send them to you, and then they'll be ready in paper in the center. So whenever you can attend, you can come to the center. You will find me there waiting, and there's the hard copy of the certificate for you. All right, now what else? Do I miss anybody for the drawing before I continue? Omar Ahmed, you mean the group, the WhatsApp group? I'll add all of you, inshallah. Again, this takes time, of course. So by the time you receive certificates, you will be added to the group. So bear with me. Now I have Hussein Jian, and I think, okay, that's it. Majid Rashid, again, for the drawing. For the draw, I'm very sorry. Okay, now we see that Dr. Saeed Mamdouh. We said that this book is a memoir. Now, Mutar's father, Jabala Mutar, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. He was a prominent opposition leader against Gaddafi. He had been forced into political exile, and in 1990, his father was kidnapped in Cairo by Egyptian secret police and delivered to Gaddafi. In 2012, we have Dr. Suhad Shakir Mohammed. Suhad Shakir. Okay. So in 2012, after revolution came to Libya, Mutar returned back home to search for his father. I think this is an interesting book. Usually I like memoirs and biographies a lot because they are so interesting. The second book here, it's a collection of short stories, as I remember. So this book called it's by Alejandro Zambra. It's called Multiple Choice. This book is a collection of short stories translated from Spanish. Usually I don't like short stories, but the one that is mentioned in the synopsis of this book is interesting. It's one of the stories is about twins who use their appearance to cheat on a law school entrance test. This seems very interesting. And then the next book, it is called Heroes of the Frontier. Heroes of the Frontier is by Dave Eggers. This is a comic family drama about Josie, who has 2 children. Josie has her dental clinic fails, and her ex-husband is about to remarry. She takes off for Alaska, planning to meet up with her stepsister Sam. In this eccentric, sometimes hilarious road trip, every moment offers the possibility of the unexpected. It's called, and I think this is also an interesting book, and this might show only 5 books because the other 5 in the site, I found them, I mean, for me, they were not appealing. That's why I limited myself for these 5 books only. So the next book is called 99 Stories of God. And this is also interesting because usually, I mean, through all readings from the Western novels and books, they were all talking against God. I mean, there's lack of faith here. Anyway, so this book is by Joy Williams. Also a collection of short stories. There are 99 brief stories ranging from 1 sentence to several pages long. These stories are numbered and connected in more or less odd ways with God. So it seems that they are maybe stories of suffering, just like the picture of the cover. When I looked at it, it looks like, I mean, it talks about the title itself, because there are 3 dogs alone in a boat. And then it seems that the story is about how God, saved these dogs and sent them to the safety, shore. Anyway.
Interesting book.
The next book, yeah, it is an interesting book. The next book is The Unseen World. So hold on, I missed the meeting. Sorry, guys. Okay. The Unseen World is by Liz Moore. So this book is about a girl who called Ada, and Ada's father has Alzheimer, and she spends years to find out her father's origins. Moore creates a drama as she moves from Ada's childhood back into her father's past. I mean, the book is talking about Ada's childhood, because it seems that she was struggling somehow, and then her father, who was a scientist, specializing in computer sciences, he got Alzheimer, and then his daughter starts to look for his past. So she's looking back into her father's past, evoking powerful personal connections, as well as the intellectual excitement of the computer era. The next book, there is a next book. Okay. So this is the end of my presentation. This is the last book that I've chosen for tonight. Do you have any comment, concern?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Uthman, go ahead.
Yeah, so the God, support the God or against the God?
Hold on, Uthman. Can you say again? I couldn't hear you. Please.
Yeah. Just give me a moment to I just get silent and I can speak. So, is that book with the name of the God? Should he support God or he's against the God?
No, it supports God. So all these stories, it's like, I don't know your religious background, but in my background, we have books which has the same theme. So we have stories, for example, I've got that, not me, but it's an example. So a person who gets a problem somewhere in history, in the past, and he comes to you, you have a problem, and then he said, have faith in God, because one day I've got this problem and I was desperate, and then God gave me this sign, and then he solved this problem. So this book has the same idea. So believe me or not, in the book there are people who faith too. I know that many people, they lost faith, but there are people who are very restricted, just like us, and they believe in God. This is one of the people who believes in God. So this is the collection of this of short stories. He has stories ranging from one sentence and several sentences, and they all support God, how God saves people or even animals in one way or another.
Yeah, I get you.
Any other comment, ideas?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Who's speaking? Introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Umar. I'm a lecturer assistant in University of Information Technology and Communications. This is my first time.
We are honored to have you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. The honor is mine. It's my first time to be here with you, and I'm so glad to have such a society like book club or so. We so deeply need it. My question, ma'am, I'm not in language. I'm not in language major. I'm not in translator. Okay. But the thing is, actually, I want to ask you about when we translate book from its original language, like you said, ma'am, from this book from like the multiple choice from Spanish literature, right?
Yes, right.
So after translation, is the translation itself, not the translator. The process of translation weakens the original product in terms of delivering the original sense and feelings.
We cannot say it's weakening the book, but no, it takes some of the qualities of mother tongue, the mother language. But on the other hand, it adds something from the translation language. For example, I am very interested and the works of Hans Christian Andersen, if you heard about him. He's the writer of The Little Mermaid, if you know about these fairy tales. So,
I've heard about it. Yes,
yes, he is Danish. His work is all in Danish language, okay? However, his work, yes, his short stories, they were translated into hundreds of languages all over the world. So, since I'm interested in the writer himself or in his writings, I bought the whole collection of his short stories, and it's it's a big volume. The translation, I loved it, and then I saw several other translations. They are the same, but the style is different. It's based on the translator himself. So I cannot criticize the original work because the theme, even the sentences, they look the same, but the construction is different. It's based on the translator. So they're all good, but each translator, he adds something from himself. So don't worry. If you would like to translate, the origin stays the same. It's the effort of the translator. So
yes,
nowadays, yes.
In the same time, we have like another cultures, like from German stories. You just trigger my memory. Hansel and Gretel, right?
The
writer was from Germany, but we all stick on it. We love it as we grow up loving it. So my question is that when the writer, the author, the original writer read the translate, if he know the new language, of course, does he like feel? Have you experienced with it, like the original writers which criticize their own products after translation? And
sometimes yes. That's why we cannot control the whole process. But I know that one of the writers who is still alive, if you heard about her name is Isabel Allende, the writer of The House of the Spirits. She's very famous.
I've heard about the project, not the writer.
Yes. So the writer is alive, and she's very popular. She writes in Spanish, and she hired her own translator. She writes in Spanish, and she gives the book to her translator, and she speaks English as well. But she says, sorry, in one of her interviews, she says, okay, I can speak English, I can write in English, but I like to have a native speaker translate my work. She trusts her translator, and she, for other languages, because her works are also translated in several other languages, she doesn't trust anyone. So the person, for example, I'd like to translate her works into Arabic. I have to contact her agent and then submit several criteria. They'll study it, and then they'll tell me if they agree or not. This is for writers who are living now. But what about dead writers? We cannot control this. And I happen to, I read several works, especially nowadays, if you see this movement of reading, and there are all these electronic books, ebooks. So I happen to have several books. The writer is very good. The work is very good, but the translation is so bad. So to the extent that I hate the book when I see this translation. So unfortunately, also we as readers, because we are so familiar with these things, we listen and read from him. But sometimes there is only one translation and we are forced to read it. But I'm lucky because I know English. That's why I go and read the English version of the Arabic one.
It's a privilege, of course. But ma'am, is it the translator right to add some things sometimes? See if he wants to.
Yes.
Is it ethical?
So let me tell you something. Once I've got a book, I couldn't find the English version, but I found the translated one. It's called قصبة في مهب الريح. It's an excellent book. It talks. I mean, it's written by an American person who came to the south of Iraq and lived there for, I mean, I think for a couple of years. So he describes everything, all the details of living in the south, even houses, even the interior of the house, even women, costumes, everything. And the translator, yes, the translator, because when he sees something, because you see, the translator is Iraqi, and he's more familiar with the life of Iraqis, with the environment, with the society. That's why for everything he asks a comment, whether it is positive or negative, but in a marvelous, objective way. So I was so astonished to have an excellent translator. So he translates the text, and then at the bottom, he adds a footnote. He says, for example, once, the writer is mistaken here because he understood this action as so-and-so, whether it's in reality so-and-so. He was so good, and he gives both pictures. Without, I mean, I don't know if he supports it or not, but he does most. So the translator, I mean, translation, and this is a word for all translators all over the world. I hope that they can apply this. When you translate, it's not just a translation, no. It's not moving sentences from one word or from one language to another, no. It's a creativity. So you have to create something. You are adding from your soul, from your language first, and then you have to be very acknowledged, very knowledgeable. So if you happen to come across something you don't know, you have to search. So it's not just a translation, no, it's a search process. You have to go, look for this, you have to understand it, and then you surprisingly, you will find that this sentence looks different from the past. When you read it the first time, it was different after you read about this topic. And it happens to me too. So I add a lot of information when I read something. It helps the reader and it helps me. And then I found myself that I know a lot of things. It's a nice process. So I hope that every translator can apply this, because it will be beneficial for himself, for his reputation, and for the reader himself.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presence.
Thus today, please come to the Language Center. Your books are waiting for you. Please come and take them. I think we have Dr. Sahar, and I think Suhad, somebody else Suhad. They won last time. So if you happen to be with us today, please come to the Language Center and take your books. Now let's wait for the generator, and then I'll have the draw. And now I'll draw one of them. The winner for today is Iba Adnan. Iba, are you with us? Iba Adnan. Is it he or she?
أحمد عدنان.
السلام عليكم.
أخبار عدنان.
Just say the name right.
دكتورة ما دكتورة إبا عدنان.
لا إبا عدنان موجودة. أحمد, you're mistaken.
What's that name? What's mean? We didn't hear that name before.
No, it means dignity. إبا عدنان.
معك إبا عدنان.
it's okay.
أهلا وسهلا بك دكتورة. عرفينا بنفسك دكتورة يا جامعة.
السلام عليكم. معكم دكتورة إبا عدنان عزوز من مدرسة الموهوبين على وزارة التربية في محافظة النجف الأشرف.
عليكم السلام.
أهلا وسهلا بك دكتورة, شرفتينا. أنت الفائزة معنا اليوم. حبيبتي تشرفينا بأي وقت. إن شاء الله الكتاب حيكون موجود بمركز اللغة، هو أصلا موجود يعني أنا من نزلت بالإعلان أخذته للمركز.
العنوان
أي وقت. هو طبعا اللي بشارع النقال.
عندنا
المبدأ التربوي، إدارة العلاقات الثقافية اللي صايرة بالطابق الخامس. مركز اللغة احنا بالطابق الخامس.
ان شاء الله.
ان شاء الله. خليني اسجل ملاحظة دكتورة إيفا عدنان في حضوركم الذي أثرى معلوماتنا من خلال الأسئلة والمناقشة الجميلة، وأتمنى حضوركم في الشهر القادم إن شاء الله أو في محاضرات أخرى. معلومات دائما للأشخاص اللي الأشخاص اللي حضروا متأخر، راح أخلي الرابط مالت الحضور مرة أخرى حتى تسجلون أسماءكم. مرة أخرى أعيد إنه شهادات المشاركة أنا حريصة جدا على إعدادها بأسرع وقت ممكن، لكن مثل ما تعرفون إنه الأعداد كبيرة بهذه الجلسات الحوار، ولهذا تأخذ من عندي وقت للإعداد على الأقل يومين بالإضافة إلى مسؤولياتي الأخرى. بعدها تدخل بريد السيد المدير العام، وأيضا تأخذ من 10 إلى 15 يوم إلى أن تتوقع. فأشكر يعني صبركم ويانا وانتظاركم. إن شاء الله as soon as they are signed by the director manager of the directorate, I'll send them to you by email, via WhatsApp. Hard copies if you have the time to come and take them. Thank you again, and I'll be waiting for you next month, inshallah. Follow us on the page for the Facebook page. I post everything there. So you will find the pictures of our meeting today and a video clip of the meeting also. And then you will find the announcements for the upcoming events. Thank you very much. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.